my channel. In today's video, we'll be making a DIY ottoman.
So we've had this coffee table that everybody seems to put their feet on more than their drinks. And so I've wanted to make this into an ottoman for a long time, especially because I always lay my heels on the table and it hurts.
You can either use a table you already have at home, you can get one from the thrift store. I think ours is from IKEA, so it was extremely inexpensive, or it's super inexpensive if you just want to build your own. All you need are either coffee table legs or a 2x2 and a sheet of plywood, and you can just build your own structure.
Yeah, simple structure.
Very simple, because we'll be covering it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter how the top looks.
Yeah, so into our first item here, the most important to make it nice and comfy, we've got this thick foam.
This is Upholstery foam, if you go to look it up.
So it's super cushiony.
This comes in different widths, so you can get it as small as 1 inch or ½ inch, and then as large as 4 or 5 inches. So depending on how much thickness you want for your cushion will depend on what size you get.
Yep.
This one is cut in half already.
Yeah,
we're using pieces that we've already used for DIYs, but first thing that you'll need, our table is going to be 31 by 46 inches. So the amount of foam and fabric we need is going to be a little bit more than just a smaller average size ottoman.
So we went to our local fabric store and we got this. I love it.
Love it. Took forever to find one.
Yeah, it's really funny because we started off with something that was completely different from this that we thought we loved, and then we found this. And on the way home, we were just discussing how it's like, man, we really love this.
We wanted something black because our feet are going to be on it, and in case it gets dirty, it's black. But we didn't want a solid fabric, so this one was perfect. It's really comfortable. It was only $7 per yard, and then they had a 50% off coupon from Joann's. We got 2 yards total, but now that we've measured the table, which I recommend doing before you purchase your fabric, we only needed 1.5 yards or even less than that. And it's optional. You can use an upholstery batting. I have never used that when building a cushion or bench. I have multiple of them on my channel. I have a bed bench, an outdoor bench, and a backyard bench.
What's the batting? Is that like foam?
It goes like in between the foam and this. It's like a white fabric, super thin. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I saw that stuff.
So I'm not too sure what that does. If you know, leave it down below in the comments, because I've always wondered and I've never looked it up.
Anyways.
And to attach our fabric, we'll be using a staple gun.
Staple gun. And we tested this. Make sure you put... Here's the thing. I'm serious. Some coffee tables are made out of like particle board and stuff, so
and they're hollow in the middle.
Right, so a staple gun isn't going to be sturdy enough to hold the fabric in place. So if that is the case, what I would recommend doing is taking a piece of wood and either screwing that in if you can get it to stabilize, or if the wood's too flimsy, then I would glue it with some heavy duty like liquid nails or something, some kind of construction grade glue. You glue the wood around the bottom of the coffee table, and then when you wrap your fabric, you could staple to the wood.
Yeah, and so you can just get like a 1x2.
Yeah, you get this is a small board, just enough
really
for the
thin
staples to go into it.
But our coffee table, we just tested our staples on, and it was able to hold them, thank God.
Almost couldn't get the staple out.
The thing about staple guns is when you use them and they apply the staples, they go in straight like this instead of a regular staple that kind of like wraps around like that. So being that it goes straight in, if you have super thin hollow wood, obviously the staple's just gonna like fall out eventually.
And staples, these are staples that go with the gun.
Make sure you have that before starting a DIY. I have numerous times ran out of staples
and if you
in the middle.
Yeah, just side note, if you don't know how to tell, most staple guns will tell you on the staple gun what type of staples. So right here you can see, I hope you can see, but it says T50. T50, there you go, it's that simple. And some fabric scissors.
That's not what these are, but...
And some scissors that we're gonna use to cut the fabric.
Also, if you need to cut your foam, I would recommend using a box cutter or a razor to cut that nicely, because as you can see, I think I used scissors here and that's why. But anyways, so that's everything that we need in order to build the top of our ottoman, don't know the word. But also we do have a bottom little shelf, I guess you could call it, at the bottom of our coffee table. Again, if you're building your own, you can easily make this with just a sheet of plywood. We're hoarders, so we have a lot of crap down there. So in order to make our crap look nice and organized, we got some baskets which are gonna fit perfectly in that space. Besides that, if you want to paint the legs of your table or the sides of it or any parts that are showing, then you will also need some paint. We'll be keeping it the same color that it already is. So
it blends with the like hint of
It's like a natural.
creamish white here. Yeah, so
That's everything that we need to build it, and we're gonna get started.
Ah, can't wait. No more pain in my heels while I watch TV.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is empty out the bottom of this table and give it all a good wipe down. So if you're using a table you already have at home, you do wanna prep it and clean it and get it ready to DIY. And if you're building it, then obviously you want to build it first. So this is step one, is prepping our surface.
Now that Jen has cleaned the surface, the first thing that we want to do is we want to cut the foam to fit the top of the table. So I'm going to go get the foam and lay it on the table and show you guys how I'm going to cut this. So in the last 30 minutes, our foam turned green. Hey guys. No, but really, we're using two separate scrap pieces of foam. So what I'm doing is I'm finding the flattest, most smoothest surface to butt together so that I limit the crease, and hopefully we won't be able to tell when we lay it and cover it with fabric here. Should I mark it with a Sharpie? Yeah.
Nah, just memorize it.
No, we're gonna mark it with a Sharpie. You wanna come sit on the thing so it doesn't move? Well, no, that might mess up the where it's how it's laying. I got this. I'm gonna mark underneath along the table, and then I'll flip it over and cut the line. Duh.
What you doing?
I'm making marks.
Marco.
Pull up. Oh, and when you're doing this, make sure you don't move the foam around. Can you look on that side and make sure that line is
Yeah, it is.
right on the edge of the table?
It is.
Awesome. That means I did perfect.
Kinda.
What do you mean, kind of?
Now we're just going to cut with a box cutter. Oh my gosh, sorry,
Now-
it's so comfortable.
It is. Now look, when you cut through this, the box cutter is going to go right through. So you don't want to cut on top of your table, otherwise you're going to have a bunch of slit marks.
But that's okay because we're covering our table.
So don't do it on your table because you don't want a bunch of slit marks. And don't do it on the carpet next to your table because you're going to cut your carpet, because I've done this. I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to cut it on the cement or the brick or the tile or whatever you got outside. I feel like the box
what's
cutter will cut
smallest
through the top of the
measurement ever?
table.
1 millimeter? That's how thick our top of our table is.
1 nanometer. A nanometer is not even the size. It's the size of a particle.
That's how big it is. Particle board.
Aha! No pun intended.
Since the lighting is so good right here and already set up, we are going to cut on the table, but to prevent cutting through the tabletop, we're gonna set it on a piece of cardboard.
Because it won't cut through the cardboard, right?
Yeah, it will. So just be super careful. We use box cutters all the time, so.
You're gonna see when you start to cut through this, you can tell when the blade's getting to the end because you have to make more than one pass through.
Right. And if you're a beginner and it's your first time using a razor blade, then I would recommend cutting on like a piece of plywood.
Yes.
Or even outside on a concrete like sidewalk or something like that, because if you were to cut on a tile, it can scratch your tile also. So just be super careful because the razor blade can really fuck everything up.
So what Jen is saying is experts only on the cardboard.
Like us. All right,
No.
so I'm doing the first cut.
Oh my
Ladies
God.
first. Why?
Y'all saw the yellow foam that we showed y'all in the beginning of this video, right? Jen cut that.
I didn't have a razor.
I cut this. You can't even tell.
You didn't cut this?
Yes, I did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why you couldn't tell. Oh, no! Not how you do it. You can't
So cut along the lines until you have your full Ottoman top cut out.
Look what she did, y'all. You can see the rivets already.
So dramatic.
You can't even use this.
Are you serious? This looks like a Halloween costume. That's
Only because it's
psycho.
October. This will cut better just because the razor's so sharp.
Our foam's really thick, so the problem is the box cutter is not going to be able to cut all the way through. So you get a really thick box cutter that's long enough to go all the way down.
You end up with jagged edges. This, on the other hand, I can go back and forth and it'll cut straight through it
Oh my gosh.
perfectly.
Try not to lose a finger in the process.
Yes,
too.
I just did this. You couldn't see it on camera, but look, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Off we go. Look at how flat that is. Oh my God, it looks better than this. That's the first time I ever cut on this. The second. How you learn and improve as you DIY with us.
All you need is a rusty Michael Myers weapon.
That's it. So we're gonna go ahead, remove.
I like filming in here because I get to sit on the couch.
Must be nice. I'll sit there and watch you as if this is the video. The video's not up yet, Jen. All right, we're gonna slide this one onto the cutting platform. Just kidding. All right, here we go. Can you see this line here? Whew, whew.
So now that we've cut our foam to size, now would be the time to paint your legs and paint anything that you want painted before we begin assembling, and then we'll move on to attaching our foam. All right, now that we have laid down our foam, you want to get it in place. You can glue it down if you would like. Like I mentioned, we've made so many of these benches that we're professionals at it, so we're not gonna glue ours down. Next, you would add your batting, which like I mentioned, we never use, so that might be an issue, but it's never been an issue in our case. And moving right on to adding our fabric right on top of the foam. Take your time, don't rush through this like I would normally do in a DIY, because you wanna make sure you're pulling your fabric as tight as possible around the foam. Not only do you want to do that so that the fabric is nice and flat with no wrinkles, but also because the edges tend to be pretty square. So when you take your fabric and wrap it really tight, it starts to curve the edge like a bench should look. Also, ours has some stripes, so we want to make sure that we have them as lined up as possible. All you're going to do is wrap really tight around the edge and staple it to the bottom of your table. We're trying to figure out our legs here, guys, how we're gonna wrap our fabric around it. Basically, here's the foam, and then here's our tabletop, so it's gonna be wrapped underneath this entire thing, but I don't want any of that covered, so.
Yeah, so I know what to do. So look, if we wrap this and we cut this short enough, we could just do a little fold over.
But weren't we gonna fold the other way? Yeah, like it like that. And then the fold to go like, yeah. I like that.
All right, so here's the bottom of the table, and this is how much fabric we have. So I'm gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna cut some excess off. Probably cut like right here. And we're actually gonna start in the middle on both sides here. Pull this way and the other way. And then that way, this will be really tight, and we're gonna work our way along here, so this will be super tight too. This is only error number 1 though, so we're doing really good, guys. Back, ow. Don't turn your head after you stick it underneath here, because it doesn't fit. Ow. I kneeled on hard cheese. Why do we even have cheese on the carpet? Oh, that's right, we had Mexican the other day, and guess who spilt it all over the floor? I'm not clumsy enough to do that, but she is. That's where Jen's been this whole DIY. Look at me and Armani getting to work. I'm just working on cleaning my nasty ass.
Who you calling nasty?
First official staple, guys. Found the middle. I'm gonna pull this nice and tight.
While you're pulling, you can see how the edge will start to curve. That's what we want.
Yeah, so we want that edge. I mean, you don't want to pull it as tight as you possibly can, because it's should be too much, but almost. What I do is I pull as much as the fabric will let me pull, and then I just back up a little bit, just a little, like. Y'all see that nice rounded edge we're getting compared to the backside? That's what you want. Before, after. I think we should do the corners last. Like, we'll cut them, we'll prep them like this. Y'all, this is looking so good. It's looking so good! All right, we're gonna work our way back now, and then we're gonna go to the other side, work our way back, and then we'll do the side for the final piece. Now that I'm getting close to this corner edge, I'm actually gonna pull this way and underneath, just to get this corner nice to where I don't have any wrinkles on the edge here. So I'm pulling underneath this way, long ways, and I'm pulling here where she's stapling along the side.
you lay your legs that way, and then you just keep the staple gun on your right side. Is she okay?
No, I'm not. I need to be on that side, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god.
Ow! I almost broke my back.
You think?
Over it. Y'all like it? It's finished. I'm over it, so I'm done.
Good.
Bye. So good. It's so tight. Tight, yeah. It literally looks like a professionally made bench. Don't look at the corners yet, but the edges look amazing. You can't feel at all where the middle is. I'm surprised. I thought you'd be able to at least feel it. 3 sides down and 1 to go.
3 sides down and 1 to go.
All right, going under to do some auto repair work. Yeah, right.
I put the seed.
Oh, the damn kid screaming for help.
I can laugh so good down here.
Since when do you laugh bad somewhere?
No, like, I can do like a good haunted laugh. I can't. I'm laughing too hard. This thing really looks like professional.
I know.
I would buy this somewhere if I saw it.
Let's go. Next.
No, not like that. I think we should do like this, pull down and put 2 staples and then just fold it over one way and then cut the excess.
Just cut the excess. That's all you have to do.
You see this gapping?
Yeah.
So you need to pull down, staple on both sides,
And then
cut
flip.
the excess and then
Excess.
cut the excess and then flip your edge over one way or the other.
All right.
Make sure you pull it tight, 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 tight.
You holding it down tight?
Yeah.
Burn it.
See this? Bam.
Perfect. So because I'm gonna flap over it this way, you wanna pull it this way, put a staple here, keep this tight, right? Because what's gonna happen is when you fold this over, this is gonna wanna crease up. So if you keep that there, when you fold it over, it'll keep this part underneath it tight too. You can't even see those. We're not even gonna hide them.
But if you can always paint the staples.
That's a good idea.
Ow.
I'm on a Cheeto break.
Nobody cares. All right, guys. One last corner. They look amazing. I love it.
So cute. The moment of truth.
No more heel pain. I love it. This is so nice.
This is great. This will be my editing spot.
Look at that. No wrinkles.
It feels so good, looks so good.
Oh.
Such an upgrade. Now we have our nice baskets. So that is all for our DIY ottoman.
I love it. I'm so excited for tonight. We're gonna turn on the TV. I'm gonna kick my legs up. My heels won't hurt. They're gonna be on some nice cushion. So I'm super excited.
It came out so nice.
I know.
Such a transformation, and now it has a purpose.
And Armani's probably already laying on it, I bet you.
So that is all for our DIY ottoman. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all in my next video.
Bye guys. We're gonna watch
He
a
heard
movie.
us.
We're gonna watch a movie.
We're gonna watch a movie.
Say hi. Hey. If you don't subscribe, I will.